glitch race. It's this regular open mode that you've been seeing in most tournaments, and we're off to start already. And both runners starting off in the sanctuary, picking up a big 20 and heading on out. But it's, the same open mode that we normally see. There's just a lot more items that are accessible. We do start out with boots because that makes most of the overworld glitches much easier. And there's a big time difference if one person finds the boots way faster than the other. So we just start out with boots. Still nothing but big 20s in the bonk rocks. Looks like Fuzzy might be going up to check again, or check Lumberjack really quick here.
Yeah, if you're not as familiar with overworld glitches, you'll see them basically use the boots to clip through some walls here in the overworld. Definitely take some paths that you're not going to normally see in a non-glitched seed.
And it looks like we just saw a map check on Fuzzy's side. We've got 2 pendants in the light world and a 5-6 at Eastern. The 5-6 has a little bit less significance in overworld glitches. If we find the mirror, we can glitch our way in there. And we found our third big 20 already.
Yeah, as you said, the sphere one here is a lot bigger than a normal open seed. A few places they can go. They could go up to Death Mountain or go right into Desert Palace without needing the book or the gloves or whatever items that they would normally need.
Yeah, it looks like Fuzzy's going to be heading down to the village here. Doesn't have any bombs, and he's missing a couple rupees for the bottle vendor. Hopefully we'll pick those up pretty soon. And we'll see where Chex heads also. He's a little bit behind checking both tree poles, but he's got plenty of time to make up the ground. And it looks like Chex is headed up the mountain already, as Fuzzy checks Blind's hideout and finds his first.
Yeah, that's always nice to find early on, just to have a weapon or to make dashing a little bit more convenient.
Yeah, it would definitely make the darkroom navigation a lot easier as well. Chex is doing that right now, just using the dust that the boots kick up. Fuzzy figuring out he doesn't have any bombs, and he's going to have to come back for that last item out of Blind's hut.
Yeah, and before Chex went into that cave there, he did have to scroll the screen up by walking Link up and down. That just, if you go in there too early, it'll take, it can take up to 2 minutes, I think, for some reason, but if you just scroll the screen, then it acts like normal.
And Fuzzy's still missing out on bombs. Check's taken to death, but he got the old man back, so he can just use that save and quit point right there. I would assume Fuzzy's going to go buy some bombs now, because there's not much he can do without bombs. Chex is about to clip through a wall and end up down here on top of Graveyard Ledge. He'll probably use this to stock up on some bombs so he can go make the village.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice spot for bombs early on in glitch seeds.
And we have the Moon Pearl in the back of the bar. That opens up the majority of the map, both light and dark world, even though we don't have gloves, hammer, or any other way to get to dark world. We'll be seeing quite a few glitches, probably quite a bit of Hera. And we do have half magic in the chicken hut. But we're going to be seeing a lot of starts from up at the mountain until they get those gloves and hammer. We see Chex in the Houlihan room picking up 215 rupees. And Fuzzy's going back to check the bomb locations that he didn't get before. And we do have flippers in Link's house. Those are useful if we do have a crystal in Swamp Palace. I think Chex right now is going to do the Cave 45 race game and head on down to Desert afterward, most likely. Really not finding a whole lot outside of rupees. A sword and a moon pearl. Wonder where all the items are hiding. And we see Chex about to do his Kakariko rounds. He's going to find his moon pearl here in the back of the bar. And Fuzzy's going to check the stuff that Chex has already checked. One thing to note about the Overworld Glitches seed, even though we did find flippers, we have Mirror. According to chat, is that Mirror at the race game? That is definitely a Mirror at the race game. So now we have real nice access to Dark World. I think that's where Fuzzy's going to go right now. That's definitely a really good play right here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Chex right behind him. But they can get anywhere, switch back and forth between worlds, check all kinds of stuff. That'd be the place to go. It looks like Fuzzy's going to go down to the dam first, maybe. Or maybe check the flipper locations. See where he goes. Nope, he is headed to the dam. To answer a question in chat, yes, all the items are in the same spot on both the players' sides. They're playing the exact same seed, so everything will be in the same location on both sides. And it looks like we're just picking up some more rupees at a few of these other locations. About to see Mini Moldorm Cave. See where that takes us. Chex is jumping his way down to cheat the race game and pick up the item from the top. And it looks like he's debating saving and quitting or going to Desert. And it looks like he's going to go to Desert. And Fuzzy's getting a little bit healthier out of Mini Moldorm Cave. Chex is noped out of Desert, and it looks like he's going back up the mountain. Fuzzy's going to check Ice Rod Cave for us. And Chex is running up the mountain instead of clipping up the mountain. He's probably going to check inside Spectacle Rock here.
Yeah, and you can get a little peek at what's on top there. Just a heart container. May not want that right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got Book out of Ice Rod Cave. Can't really use it for a whole lot right now, because we don't have Master Sword. But we do have it in our possession. And Chex setting up for a bomb jump right here. Gets it real nicely. And looks like Fuzzy's going back up the mountain to join Chex. And we're about to see a bomb clip on Chex's side. Take him right on up to get that full heart. And Chex is going to dip Hera here. Definitely a good play. If he gets the big key, he'll be able to check both hint tiles. That's a hammer. That opens up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice find.
Yeah, so he's going to get the hammer. He's going to get this hint tile here and see if we can go any further. And it looks like we can't because we don't have a fire source. And Pyramid Fairy leading to nothing today.
Yeah, that's nice to know. As you mentioned earlier, in overworld glitches, you can get that just, I think, with the Moon Pearl and the mirror. Due to the way that the game kind of keeps track of Link's location, you can use some mirror trickery to kind of put you in that spot where the entrance is, and then just mirror to it basically and just clip through the door without having to open it with the big bomb.
Yep, and here we're seeing a check a Super Bunny Cave. Picking up the silver arrows. No bow yet, so we've got to just hang on to them. And now we're seeing where that mirror comes in, nice and convenient. Chex being able to mirror, sees the lamp up on the floating island. Looks like he's going to go pick that up right now.
Yeah, probably doesn't need it necessarily, but it'll definitely save some time in some places like the Pod Dark Maze or Misery Mire.
Yeah, and it could be our only fire source until we get Fire Rod. So it may be totally required. And I know Fuzzy just took a look, saw that lamp. I'm sure he'll be coming back to get it. And Chex is going to come up through the bottom part of Paradox Cave. 7 items in here. Let's see what we get. And we got our first bottle, so we can check Sick Kid. It's very out of the way right now until we get over to Thieves Town area. And nothing of worth really in Paradox Cave. And one thing, if you're not too familiar with Overworld glitches, we will be seeing a lot of Tower of Hera. It's used to reset the screen after clipping up through the top of the mountain. Not sure exactly where Fuzzy's going without the big key. He's farming bombs. He is completely out of bombs, and he's going to pick some. And it looks like Chex is on his way down to Catfish.
Yeah, this is kind of a smart backup, just since obviously he doesn't want to leave behind all the chests in Paradox Cave. Doesn't really have a super convenient way to get them otherwise, and then get back to Death Mountain.
Yep, and Fuzzy's making his way over toward the lamp. Chex is going to mirror, get Waterfall Cave for another bottle. Fuzzy's having a little trouble getting up on that island. He'll get there, though.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky.
Chex is about to visit everybody's favorite fish up here.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's different ways to get onto that floating island, depending on whether or not you have flippers.
That is correct. With flippers, the way that Chex did it from the right is the preferred way, and without flippers, you would want to do it from the left, like Fuzzy was trying to do. Oh no, Fuzzy taking a death inside a Paradox Cave. It's not too far from where we're starting though, so it's not too bad. Looks like Chex is gonna clip a little bit here. Hopefully he doesn't die from the fireballs. And probably make his way down to pod. Nope, just trying to make his way around the rock. We don't have gloves yet. He was thinking about
Yeah.
pod. Didn't quite do it though. I think he's gonna go over here and go to Eastern. And check Sashalhar's hut while he's over here. Sage's closet's full of health and a red boomerang. And Fuzzy's going to get some revenge on those pesky Moldorms. Check's making his way back to his mirror spot. And probably will go to pod from here. I stand corrected. He's going to go toward Pyramid. Probably going to check the front of Escape as well. And the Uncle drop down.
Yeah, can be nice to just kind of get out of the way when you're already in the area.
Yeah, and having the mirror too makes a lot of these locations more dense just because you can check light and dark world at the same time. We got a mushroom in the Uncle drop down. And it looks like Fuzzy's doing a Death Mountain descent. And probably going to head over toward Thieves Town area.
Yeah, at this point it looks like Thieves Town pretty much the only dungeon they can fully clear, except for Harrow, which is a pendant. No map check yet, but hopefully we'll be getting that soon.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what it was on Bumper Ledge, but it must not be anything because he's not going there to get it.
And Chexhuman gets the Hyrule Castle key, so could potentially take him back to the back of Escape as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him beat the ball and chain guard mirror, go all the way to the back in the mirror a second time to come back out where his portal is. In the meantime, Fuzzy's playing the chess game and picking up the third bottle. Here's our map check. Ice Palace is the pendant. Ice Palace is the only dungeon in Overworld Glitches that requires mitts. So if we do see mitts, we should take note there might be something in Ice Palace. And we're about to get our sick kid check here. He's not sick, he's injured, he was just playing with explosives.
So for Ice Palace, is there like a mirror wrap or something, or a screen wrap you can do that will put you right by the entrance without the mitts, or is that like a hard requirement?
It's logically required. There are screen wraps and mirror wraps that you can do to get into Ice Palace without mitts. So we really don't want to see those mitts.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So I understand the mitts are kind of something you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Why is that exactly?
So logically, it opens up Ice Palace, which in this case is a pendant. We don't want to go there because who likes Ice Palace? I mean, come on.
Right.
The other thing it opens up, by logic, which again we can glitch to, is the blacksmith chain. So if we can avoid that, because it's typically out of the way by the time you find mitts, you don't want to go all the way back over there just for one item, maybe two. Assuming you don't know where purple chest is. And it looks like Chex is going for Hype Cave. Let's see what the hype index is today. Well, there's Ether. So, yeah, maybe. Depends on what the Meyer medallion is.
So I understand that with Turtle Rock you can kind of clip into the side entrances, but with Meyer, is the medallion a logical requirement for that as well?
The Meyer medallion's a hard requirement. There's no way to get into Meyer without that medallion. With Turtle Rock, we don't need the medallion. There's 2 entrances we can use with glitches to get in there.
Looks like Chexhuman might be taking a dip in the swamp. No hookshot yet, but still has about 4 checks he can make here.
Yeah, there's 4 checks. No, he's skipping it for right now. He's going to go over... I think he was just checking the dam item. He's going to come over here and check Mini Moldorm Cave.
Okay, he may be leaving the portal there for later. He decides to come back.
And Fuzzy's in the basement of Thieves Town. Just figured out he doesn't have the gloves, so he's going to have to go the long way around here.
Yeah, this is something that can stump people sometimes. You might think that you need a glove, but you can just kill all the enemies in that room and it opens that door on the side.
Speaking of gloves, there's one in a somewhat vanilla location. But we've now found all the gloves that we want to see. It looks like Chex is headed up to Ice Rod Cave. He's going to pick up his book while he's up here. And we're really close to seeing the blind fight over on Fuzzy's side. Rental agents offer quarters for dollars.
Chexhuman doing the water walk here, which he armed with the boots in the ice rod cave, just dashing by the pit. Saves a lot of time just getting over here to the hobo.
And it looks like Fuzzy picked up Blue Mail while he was making his way through Thieves Town. And the unfortunate part about the water walk is if you walk on the shallow water and you have flippers, the next deep water you hit, you're going to be swimming again. And we see Chex back. Chex is back in here, resetting his camera. Let's see where he goes from here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fuzzy takes down Blind. Not too much trouble, gets the first crystal.
And it looks like Chex did the Death Mountain descent, and he's pretty much following in Fuzzy's footsteps.
Yeah, that glitch that you saw him do there to get down from Death Mountain, I want to say it's called the funny auto walking thing. Basically scrolls him down to a place so he doesn't get stuck like in the trees or in the mountain or whatever.
Yeah, there's certain places where if you screen transition, it puts you halfway through the next screen. And that's what ends up doing that funny auto walk thing. We see Chex is going to actually check the front part of Skull Woods while he's over here. He's already found one item, a big 20. It's possible to get a second out of here. We'll see if he gets it or not. He is going to have to go the long way around, though, because he didn't find a small key over on this half.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go over here in the pinball room. There's always a guaranteed small key there. So to prevent basically having to save and quit. Looks like Fuzzy is draining the swamp here. We'll see if he leaves his portal or if he goes inside. And he's going in.
Yep, so we'll get to see 4 items out of here. We don't have the hook shot, so we won't be able to see the back half. But there might be something of value in here. We'll find out soon. In the meantime, Chex is getting the one chest in the back part of Skull Woods that we can get in the middle part. It looks like Chex just got a small key, and Fuzzy just picked up some rupees, so nothing big yet to report. It looks like Chex is going to make his way down to the village now. He'll most likely be doing Thieves Town, picking up his gloves and blue mail.
Yep, Fuzzy heading towards the main section of swamp. Has to be a little careful. He's got 1.5 hearts. This is a dungeon that can kind of chip away at your health little by little.
Yeah, there are quite a few skull pots that you can pick up to get hearts in here. Unfortunately, he just picked up the compass, which does mean there is something over on the left side. But having only fighter sword, most of the stuff does not die to a fighter sword slash. So it makes it a little bit hard to navigate the enemies in here, some of which do 2 hearts of damage. And it looks like he's skipping out on the left side swamp.
Yeah, grabbing the key though, that'll be a little helpful later if he decides to go back to the left side.
And it looks like he's coming up here to check Stumpy right now. Gets all his health back and an extra.
Yeah, it's always nice when you find that last piece of quarter heart right when you need it.
Yeah, he was sitting pretty low. He definitely needed those. Checking another hint tile that didn't give us much information. It looks like Fuzzy's gonna head on over to Meyer's shed and probably check the Meyer medallion while we're over there. And he's got gloves, so he's gonna check Checkerboard Cave as well while he's here.
Yeah.
So right now we're missing some pretty big items. We're missing the bow, we're missing the fire rod, we're missing the cane, we're missing the hook shot. Where are we gonna find all this stuff?
That's a good question. Looks like Fuzzy's maybe gonna head into desert. Unfortunately, left the lamp behind. But it is a pendant, so we may not necessarily want to go kill Lamolus right now.
Yeah, with his current item set, I wouldn't imagine he'd want to go fight Lambolus. He's just skipped the hint tile, though, which is kind of interesting. As we see Chex picking up his glove. Let's see what we find over here in the big chest. There's our hookshot. So that opens up the 3 items in Hookshot Cave that we couldn't get to before, as well as the rest of Swamp. So he's not too far away from Swamp. He might just go straight back there. Check's doing an awesome job on the scripted blind fight. And it looks like the ether out of Hype Cave was worth something. It is the medallion for Myers, so we can get in there. We don't have Kane, so we can't beat it, but we can get in there.
Yeah, and you never know. Kane could be in there. Or another required item.
Vanilla items, the most trolly in Rando. And we see Chex finishing up his Dark Village checks. And Fuzzy's gonna go see what he gets out of Hookshot Cave. I don't think he's been a Super Bunny yet either, so he'll get those items as well.
Yeah, I think he'll get his silver arrows there.
And it looks like we're gonna have Magic Bat check here. Just some blueberries from the bat. Alright, here comes the Hookshot Cave. Let's see if that hookshot out of desert leads to something.
Yeah, this is a smart play. Since there's 3 items you can get in here with the hookshot, and might be thinking, just found this thing and wants to potentially capitalize on anything it might lead to.
He's coming through here. He's gonna get the lamp while he's here too. That's why he came up here. Checks with a little screen wrap action and is gonna check hammer pegs now. And Fuzzy saw the Quake Medallion, and it looks like he's gonna go maybe to Catfish. I think he's trying to go to Catfish and he got himself stuck.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Looks like we're seeing another bomb clip from Chex. Looks like he's going to do Stumpy and then probably head over to Misery Mire area. Hopefully he remembers to check Desert while he's over there and grabs his hook shot. I think Fuzzy's making the play here. He's going up to Ganon's tower. He can clear out the entire left side, which is a ton of chests, and get the Hope Room as well, which is where he's going to start. We don't have Kane or... He's got lamps, so he could bomb jump over there. Fire Rod makes life much easier, though. Let's see what we get in GT today. Do find the single arrow on the lamp. And there's the Turtle Rock Medallion that we don't need. And still no big key yet. And it looks like Chex is making the desert dip, so he will get his hookshot while he's in here. Let's see if we find out what this hint tile is this time around. Oh no, that's not a good hint tile to skip.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but hopefully Fuzzy will get back over there, you know, since he found that hook shot.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed, because that's one we're definitely going to need to get through this game. And seeing that hint, I wouldn't be surprised if Chex went there before going up Ganon's tower. That way he can check the right side of GT while he's here. And Fuzzy does find the big key just before the rando room. So we will be able to check the big chest while we're here. The second item out of Desert's just 300 bucks, but we do find the fire rod in the rando room in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice find. Let him clear the rest of Skull Woods, get his second crystal.
And it looks like we're going to see a bowless Ice Armos. Unless the bow's in this chest.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, but can be done with just a fighter sword or hammer, maybe.
Found the fourth bottle, though. Looks like he's going for a combo of sword and fire rod. And Chex is headed straight back over to Swamp because he wants what's in that big chest.
Fuzzy backing out of the Ice Armos fight. Probably just thinking, you know, it's taking a little too much time. Wants to go elsewhere.
Looks like he's going for another Death Mountain descent. This will most likely end up being a play over to see Mothula. He hasn't been over there yet, so we will get to see the one item in the back that we don't know yet. We know the first one's nothing.
Fuzzy just going straight down into the pinball room. Gonna try to make his way around before heading back. A question in chat: what are the minimum items required for completion? It depends on which dungeons are crystals and which aren't. And plus, in overworld glitches, you need a few less items, I think. So here, right now, we're still looking for the bow, the ice rod, and I think that might be it.
Yeah, bow and ice rod would definitely make us good right now. If this weren't an overworld glitch seed, we'd also need Titan's Mitts, and we'd also need Flute to get us over to the Mire area. It looks like Fuzzy's going to use this pot to refill his magic.
Yeah, and we do need some Maria for Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, but we know that that's in the Swamp Big Chest here, where Chexhuman is.
Right, and just to be clear, even though we can glitch our way into Ganon's tower and get up there and fight Agatu and get into the Ganon fight, we do have to have all 7 crystals and beat Agatu before we can damage Ganon. So we will be seeing the dungeons that are crystals completed before the end of the seed. And we found the red mail over on far side of Swamp.
Yeah, with the big key being in the back, I think this is better for Fuzzy in case he decides not to go left side swamp when he returns.
Yeah, definitely, because if he goes straight to the back and then comes back through, he's going to check that big chest before he goes left. Fuzzy's got to watch his health. He's getting a little bit low here. He should have a potion, though. Down goes the moth. Nicely done. Second item, just $5. Is he going to mirror and check the pedestal? No pedestal check today. And there's our Swamp Big Key. So Chex is going to beat the boss and come back, pick up his cane. And this looks like it's probably good for Fuzzy. It looks like he's going to pick up his cane as well. So it looks like he's going right back to Swamp. Fighter Sword argues for Chex. Never a fun fight. You can only damage the puffs with spins. You could use your hammer, but it takes loads and loads of menu time. And the spins are actually faster than the menu.
Yeah, it is a bit tricky for sure, especially when you're trying to grab 2 at a time, because sometimes you'll just randomly change direction or miss a puff and can get it kind of out of hand.
Yep, and he's using the hammer here in the second phase to try to make it a little bit quicker. Getting hit a couple times, but red mail and 13 hearts, not that big of a deal. And that was our bow. So we've got the bow and Canis Samaria both in Swamp. Swamp holding all the value today. Check's going straight back in. He can go grab his cane and probably go clear up some dungeons. Might go up GT. Depends on how comfortable he feels with just a lamp for a fire source for the right side, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not in logic, but you can, with a bomb jump, you can light all those torches. I think you want to light the farthest one first, do the bomb jump, light the farthest one, then fall down the pit, and that'll take you back to the top of the room. And with the boots, you can definitely get it in time.
Yeah, that is the definite way to do it there. The fire rod is up in Ganon's tower, so he's going to eventually have to go up there without the fire rod. It's just how soon is he going to make that play?
Meanwhile, Fuzzy going left side here, gonna get his red mail. It is looking good though. Good sign for him getting the cane. He's planning on full clearing.
It looks like Chex is headed back over to Meyer. He might go clear that up before he goes up Ganon's tower. Probably looking for the fire rod. Meyer 2 is going to be a little bit awkward having no sword beams and no fire rod, but I'm sure he'll be able to manage.
Yeah, I think at this point, the fire rod is going to give Fuzzy a little bit of a boost. We know Chex is definitely going to find it eventually.
Let's see if we have the God Meyer set up today. Just a small key on the bridge. And a map in the spike chest. So we're going to get to see a lot more Meyer. And we see Fuzzy making his way toward Armos. We're sitting at 53 minutes into this seed, and we still haven't found a sword upgrade past Fighter Sword. Where do you think the next sword's going to be?
I would probably bet on Potter Eastern, personally. How about you?
I kind of want to see it up Ganon's tower somewhere, up near the top. Maybe in the mini Helma room.
Yeah, they are going to need to find at least one more to complete the game.
It looks like Fuzzy's going for hammer strats on Argus here. It's going to take a little while because his menu's not exactly kind as far as switching back and forth between hookshot and hammer, but it will do the job.
Yeah, that's one thing about the randomizer. The menu, depending on what items you get, it can be a little inconvenient, you know, to switch quickly.
It looks like Misery Meyer's got a vanilla big key.
Yeah, and also a burn a hint there in Meyer. I didn't see quite where it was, but I don't think he's going to be needing that since he already has the cape and half magic.
Yeah, he's actually already got it. It was the Dark Cross in the sewers. Alright, so either the big chest or the chest next to it's going to have an item. There's those mitts that we do not want to see. We have picked them up. And we have an item on the boss. Fighter sword for this one's going to hurt a lot less than it did in Swamp. This boss will die very quickly to the silver arrows we happen to be carrying that we can shoot now. Speaking of shooting arrows, Fuzzy finishing off Argus, picking up his bow, and forgetting to head back in to check the big chest.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Shoot. I think he got excited about that bow and is headed over toward the Eastern Pod combo right now.
Yeah, there is 2 crystals you can get here in pretty quick succession.
Yeah, 2 crystals, 8 items, plus the 3 here from Sashlahara. It's 11 items, and there's only 1 in that Swamp Big Chest, but we know what that one happens to be. And don't blink or you're going to miss this eyeball fight here. Vidya is down, Meyer is complete.
Yep, so we're about even in terms of crystals, although they do have different crystals. I think Chexhuman probably a little bit ahead in as far as item checks as well, on top of the cane.
Yeah, I think right now it's advantage checks just because of that cane. We know where it is, and it's probably going to be a while before Fuzzy makes his way back there, unfortunately. Fuzzy is making some necessary checks here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Chex go over and do exactly what Fuzzy's doing now. 2 dungeons that we can complete rather quickly.
Yeah, at this point I think there's a lot riding on where the ice rod is located. If Fuzzy finds it earlier, and maybe at an out-of-the-way location, and he manages to get back to Swamp, he could take the lead potentially.
Check the ether tablet. It's just some couch cash. And it looks like he's going to check Spike Cave while he's up here also. Let's see if Fuzzy checks this hint here. He's not checking the hint. Very interesting strategy.
Yeah, I've seen him practicing Overworld glitches recently, but I'm not sure how much of the Link to the Past randomizer he's been playing since the hints were released, so Might just not think of it.
And it looks like Chex is going to head up to GT, so probably feeling comfortable in that bomb jump. And while we were talking, Bombos was found in Eastern, so it's one less thing for us to find, even though we don't really need it. There's a shovel. Wonder what that leads to. And yes, chat, that is another vanilla big key.
Yeah, that shovel, maybe. It's not the most obvious thing, but could maybe potentially lead him back to Swamp if he thinks about it while he's in the area.
Let's hope for it. And almost gone down pretty quick. Eastern Palace all finished up. And probably off the pod right now. Check's about to pick up his big key. And head off to the rando room where he's going to get his fire rod. One thing that might help Fuzzy is he hasn't been to Mire yet, so if he doesn't go to Mire and doesn't find those mitts, he'll at least get to stay out of Ice Palace. Because that won't be in Logic.
Yeah, that would be pretty good for him. Also, I think we're going to see Chexhuman here taking down the Ice Armor since he has the bow and the silver arrows, so that'll be 3 new checks, in addition to the right side that he's more than likely going to check, I guess.
Yep, and we're seeing some new stuff over on Fuzzy's side, over here in Pod. There's our Master Sword. Check's making real quick work of Ice Armos. Picking up the Mirror Shield for his efforts. And it looks like he's going to wait out Tile Room.
Yeah, you might as well when you're here, especially in overworld glitches. I think it's probably more commonly checked.
Yep, and we're now seeing the back half of Pod from Fuzzy. All that wait for just a small key.
So at this point, do you think Chexhuman continues on through Ganon's Tower and kills Aga 2? Or maybe saves it for later?
No, absolutely. That's the line he's going to take here. It's going to put him right on top of the pyramid, which is pretty close to Pod, so he'll probably run over to Pod after that.
To answer a question in chat, you can reflect Aghanim's orbs or whatever they are, just with the fighter sword. You can use the net as well, but the fighter sword works fine.
True, you get more swag points with the net, but the fighter sword does work. We see Fuzzy pulling off the hammer jump for 50 bucks. And Check's about to make his way through the gauntlet. And Dark Maze holding nothing special. Check's having a little bit of trouble through that gauntlet there, just because Fighter Sword doesn't do enough damage while you're in there. But he's made it on to Lambo too. Nice 2 cycle for him.
Yep, and Fuzzy is making his way back to the pod basement to fight Helmasaur. I didn't catch if he got 5 or 6 items. I'll have to see when he opens his menu, but not sure if there's an item on Helma yet.
I'm pretty sure we've already seen the map and the compass, so I think there's an item on the boss. We'll know in a second when he switches to hammer. Yeah, there's definitely an item on the boss. Got a little bit of a turtle party going on in the sewers here. And nothing big yet in the top of GT. And here comes the helmet fight. 17 smacks to the face with a hammer, and then more than likely 1 silver arrow right to the jewel. Check's pulling out the hammer for Moldorm 2. Don't blame him at all. Fuzzy doing a nice job on Helma. Picking up the blue boomerang for his efforts. And officially nothing in the top of GT.
Yeah, that hammer is nice because it lets you avoid the enraged state where Moldor moves A lot faster than normal. It's a little more unpredictable.
And Chex is entering the Geometry Wizard fight.
Fuzzy going to Link's house. Probably going to check the shovel, maybe. We're going to the Dark World first.
He's going to Dark World. He's near Swamp. Send him all your energy. Let's get him into Swamp. Check's taking down Agatu. Oh no. So that mirror rep we were talking about for Ice Palace is what it looks like he's trying. So what he's trying to do here is use the mirror on the same frame that he transitions across this screen transition. Puts the game in a weird state. He's going to navigate his way up the screen a little bit when he gets there. And Check's dropping off the mushroom. All for 20 bucks.
Yeah, and using his portal there instead of a screen transition, a little bit quicker, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but if you just go to the Dark World and back, you can get the item instead of having to move all the way to the other screen.
Yeah, it is a little bit quicker, and Fuzzy does pull off that mirror wrap, so he is making his way into Ice Palace. And skipping the hint tile yet again. For a question in chat, it's in the Swamp Big Chest. There was a hint tile for it, and Fuzzy hasn't checked a hint tile yet.
Yeah, at this point, I think safe to say, probably just not aware of the hint tiles. Pretty unfortunate, but hopefully this will be a learning experience.
Yeah, I'm certain he'll be aware for the next one. And we do get a Tempered Sword upgrade out of Ice Palace, so something good out of here. Check's making his way through Eastern right now. Picking up his bombos.
What could help here is if he finds Ice Rod, since Chex seems to have plenty of other stuff to do in the meantime.
This is true. This might be the last place Chex decides to go. Then again, it is 3 items plus a green pendant plus 3 hint tile. Let's see what's in our next chest here in Ice Palace. Just 20 bucks. Looks like he might be going straight for the boss here. He's got his hammer out. That is most definitely what he's doing.
Yeah, he might be thinking it is a dungeon that takes a decent amount of time to full clear. Maybe just betting on that green pendant.
Yeah, plus if he's not scared to leave one behind in Swamp, I'm sure he's not scared to leave one behind here. Fire Rod and Tempered Sword making quick work of the boss. And he does get the third item. That was the play to make.
Nice.
So an actually pretty quick full clear of Ice Palace right there. We've still got a few Overworld checks to go yet, but we're starting to run out of them. That Ice Rod and Turtle Rock is looking a little bit good right now. And we see steps being retraced again. Checks in pod, Fuzzy over here in escape.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we haven't seen yet besides Turtle Rock. Definitely the shovel. I don't think we've seen King's Tomb that I can recall.
Yeah, Shovel, King's Tomb, Blacksmith, and Purple Chest. Unless we've got a hint
Yep.
for Purple Chest that I forgot about. Yeah, Check's picking up his Master Sword.
Looks like we just got a red rupee, the green pendant. So not too much in Ice Palace, but the sword is it's nice to have. You know, like a little consolation prize kind of. Looks like Fuzzy heading down. Gonna do these flipper checks. Don't believe he's been to the Zora area. Also, doesn't have catfish, I don't think. Gets his cape. So at this point, my money would probably be on Turtle Rock for the Ice Rod location. Either that or Mimic Cave, which is basically Turtle Rock anyway. So we already saw these Zora checks. Not sure. I don't think it was anything particularly important, except for a bottle. That's nice to have too. And good observation in chat. I can't remember if we did see someone check Gina. I remember. I'm pretty sure both of our runners checked the checkerboard cave. So
Yeah,
I want
I'm
to say they
pretty
did
sure
find it.
Chex checked Agina.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it was just a big 20.
Fuzzy pausing to think a little bit, going to Death Mountain. Meanwhile, Chexhuman takes down Helmasaur.
Fuzzy may be making the Turtle Rock play right now. Somewhere we haven't seen yet. It's pretty item dense. And he's going just by. And I think we're going to find out what that shovel leads to in just a second here.
Yeah, if he does go to Turtle Rock, I think there's Laser Bridge he can check. He can check Vanilla Big Key, maybe the Big Chest, and just a piece of heart at the dig spot. Oh, and also the Chain Chomp chest.
Yeah, depending on which way he goes in, he can actually check all the chests in there if he starts at the back. Just a little different route. He is going to go Ganon's Tower. Probably, nope, he's going straight up to the top. I was going to say he might be checking the right side, see what he missed out on over there, and Armos. But he's got the big key, so he's just going to head straight up to the top. Chex, on the other hand, looks like he's going to do Hookshot Cave and probably Dip TR while he's up here. Be interesting to see if Chex does the clip over to Skull Woods from this area. It's a little bit dangerous because you can hard lock, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him try it. I'm getting a look at Mimic Cave here. Just some balls. Fuzzy stopping to refill his health and magic. Don't blame him at all.
Yep, that's always a good idea when you're low on health, right before the gauntlet.
And Check's hoping to find a small key in here. In one of these 2 chests he can get to.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is actually one of the major logic differences, just as far as dungeons go, and overworld glitches. Because finds the flute doesn't need that, but just because in overworld glitches you can enter from the back and laser bridge, or the middle by the big chest, the outer bridge there, or you can go in the front if you want. So the logic accounts for all of those different entrances.
And to answer a question in chat, he can check the ones in the front. He does have Quake. He's just going to have to go out, mirror back to Light World, and go in that way. It's just going to take him a little bit longer. When Fuzzy not having Samaria, having to do these rooms without, a little bit difficult. Probably not practiced a whole lot.
Yeah, trying to use the bow there, probably one of the better weapons to use, but I think that spike block caught the arrow.
And it looks like Chex is going to go straight to Laser Bridge here. And something weird happened with the screen wrap, and he's just going to save and quit, not risk hard locking his game. Looks like we're going to get our King's Tomb check, though. Possibly the lack of escape. Nope, he's going the other way, never mind.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but good that he was able to save and quit.
Fuzzy having a little struggle up here with Moldarm, too.
Yeah, the arena here is a little bit narrower than the one for the first fight, so pretty easy to just get bounced right off.
Takes care of him that time, and he'll get through. Okay, so I think Chex was going up into the woods in Light World. Figured out, hey, I still need to do Moth, so he's going to do Moth and possibly mirror to check Pedestal. So we might get that ped check after all. To answer your question in chat, Aga 1 would be required if there's an item in the Lumberjack Cave, or if Moon Pearl is on the pyramid. Other than that, no. Check's about to drop in on the Moth, and Fuzzy finishing up Aga 2. Fuzzy's got to watch his health. It's getting a little bit low. Gets the job done, though. Right about the same time, Chex finishes up the moth fight.
Yeah, and hopefully he does do that ped check. At this point, excuse me, the ice rod could still be on pedestal, which might help out Fuzzy a little bit since he already has Ice Palace taken care of.
No ped check today. If they haven't done it yet, I don't see them doing it until they just go ahead and blind pull. And I assume Chex is going to go for Laser Bridge here. Yes, he is in Laser Bridge. Finds a tempered sword.
Yep. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's two ways to actually get into Laser Bridge. I think you can also do like a mirror clip through the barrier there and then hop down.
Yeah, the way he did it, he ended up having to hop down. There's another way to do it where it just puts you straight on the ledge. Still a mirror wrap, though.
Okay.
And Fuzzy's taking the pyramid bomb up there. Gonna find a little disappointment when he gets there. Oh, and Chex has managed to get himself stuck. Let's see if he can unstuck himself.
Yeah, he can sort of knock the block over to the right with the boots. A little bit tricky though, I think. Otherwise, left a mirror out.
Yeah, it looks like he got it figured out. Let's see if he makes his way back out and checks the big chest. Looks like he's gonna skip it. Skipping it does leave it behind and you don't get the contents. It does preserve his mirror spot though, so if he does find Ice Rod in the front half of TR, he can just mirror and he'll be right at Laser Bridge again.
Yep, and Fuzzy going over to check the Bombos tablet. I think we already saw this earlier from Chex. But hopefully this will probably be his best opportunity to get back in the swamp. But nope, just going to Agina here.
There's still time. You can still run out and go back to Swamp. We can still do this.
Yeah, he is walking back out. Or dashing back out, rather.
Oh no, that mirror portal might be where he can't get it. I think it is, so he's having to go back around and use the regular portal. And Check's not finding the ice rod. Also hasn't checked the big chest. I think he's going to go get the big chest using the clip he used before to get into Turtle Rock. Yeah, this one will take him straight to the big chest, and he can get the big chest this way. And there it is. It's our ice rod. We are in go mode at 1 hour 36 minutes 38 seconds. All Chex needs to do now is finish off Trinex and then go fight Ganon.
Yep, FuzzyGames checking the dig spot and showing off a little shovel dash there.
And it looks like he's going to head over to Meyer. Unfortunately, he still doesn't have that cane, so he's not going to be able to complete the dungeon. He is going to pick up the mitts, though.
Yeah, he may have miscounted in Swamp, especially with the double dip. It's kind of easy to get a little mixed up sometimes. Or he might just be, you know, figuring he's just going to leave it and bet against it.
Alright, well that's crystal number 7 for Chex. Time to go fight Ganon.
Yeah, it should be a pretty quick fight, especially with that tempered sword he found on Laser Bridge. And Fuzzy killing Land Mollis while he's here. Could be thinking that, you know, maybe betting on Ped. Not a terrible choice at this point in the seed. Just getting this done while he's here, maybe doing a dip into Mire.
Yeah, especially if he's miscounted Swamp, this would be the right thing to do. Still missing Ice Rod, he's still missing Cane, and it could be either one of those on Ped as far as he knows right now. And Check's already on to phase 3 again. And yes, Ganon, we did find your silver arrows.
Yep, it doesn't bother with the torch clips here. It doesn't really need to. The silver arrows still going to be pretty quick. Doesn't have to worry about magic.
And all you gotta do is make it across this bridge. GG to Chexhuman. 147.21 official SRL time. First place finisher in the race. Get those GGs in chat.
Yeah, pretty well played.
Let's see if he wants to come in for an interview. We see Fuzzy about to pick up his big key for Misery Mire. One thing to note about this tournament, there is a tie-break system in case the groups end up in ties, and it does break the ties for the first place finishers as well. So even if you do finish second, finishing with a good time and close to the winner's time does actually make a difference. So Fuzzy's still going to be going and still going to be trying to finish his seed as fast as he can. And we're joined by Chexhuman. GG, Chex.
GG.
So, what were your thoughts on this seed?
It was interesting. My thoughts on the seed layout was that it was pretty flat. So I felt like the deepest thing in the spheres was the myths. I suppose. Oh, you know what? It was the ice rod too. Logically, because of medallions. That's the medallion piece is what I'm not quite clear on. What did you think?
It did feel really flat. Getting that moon pearl in the mirror so early was a little bit concerning. And then seeing those mitts turn up in Misery Mire, that was a little bit gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't turn out to be anything.
Yes. I felt kind of lucky in that way because I was kind of committing to putting off every Myths block location. I just felt like I had to do Ice Palace last. It didn't work out. I don't know. I had a feeling that Hookshot Cave and Turtle Rock were the answers, since that was gonna be 9 to 10 free items. And the routing didn't quite work out for me. I got a bit sidetracked because of soft lock. But I still felt like it was the answer.
Yeah, that was a pretty good call, avoiding ice. Your opponent actually sequence broke into there with a mirror wrap. Only found a sword.
Oh, okay. So that's where the fourth sword was.
Yeah, the one thing I was curious about, at Turtle Rock, you went into the middle of Turtle Rock instead of the back of Turtle Rock first. Is there any reason for that, or?
No. I much prefer to clear Turtle Rock from the back. So I should have done it. I don't know why I didn't. Oh,
that
well, it's just the layout of Turtle Rock was just so funny because of the ice rod being in the big chest. So I suppose a good thing to do there would be to start from the back and then go out the laser wall entrance and then continue from the big chest. Get the big key from the front and then mirror back to the big chest. I guess. And it was really funny that Ice Rod was the fifth item, because Trinex had the compass, right? So the big chest could have been a compass. It was just really, really important to finish Turtle Rock.
Yeah, don't leave anything behind.
Yeah. So two soft locks led me astray. I just want to mention that. Not just trying that clip but into Turtle Rock, but also the desert clip, because I was excited about finding the mirror in the race game, and I did the wrong. I started inputting the wrong direction, and then I didn't make it to desert, so that meant I missed hookshot for a while.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering when you were going to get back there.
Yeah. GG.
GG, dude. Yeah. That was a bumpy start. Yeah. I guess once I got over the nerves, I started trying to just take down crystal dungeons, and I made a lot of gambles, so I probably missed what I was looking for.
Yeah, one question that we have for you: was there any reason behind skipping all the hint tiles?
Skipping all of what?
The hint tiles that are scattered through the game.
Oh, I felt like I was permanently behind, so I was just going to take my chances.
Yeah, there was one, I believe it was the one in Swamp. It was either Swamp or it was Thieves Town, that said what the big chest in Swamp was, and it ended up being the Cane of Samaria.
Desert.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Pretty sure it was desert, because since desert was a late check for me, pairing that hint with the hook shot also in desert made Swamp the clear destination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was pretty close, like earlier on. I want to say up until Swamp. Fuzzy, you got the hook shot a little bit earlier. You found the fire rod a good bit earlier. I think if you had got that Cane of Samaria, definitely would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, and I knew it. It had to be in one of the million places that I didn't check. So I skipped like I think 4 things in Skull, just figuring it was a low chance to be anything, and a bunch of other stuff. I gave up on left side Ganon's tower, and just assumed that I was gonna wing it. So. But I'm glad to hear that it was pretty close. So.
Yeah. At that point, I think you were one crystal ahead, but still behind in like item checks compared to Chexhuman.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say exactly how it would have played out, but it was pretty.
Sweet.
And the last thing, can I jump in about the seed? The early Mirror and Pearl made it for a fun route throughout the world.
It opened pretty much everything, yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Early Mirror.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did an awesome job with that Mirror Moon Pearl combo, just going to every item dense location one after the other. Your clear rate shows that. I mean, 175 out of 216, and still pulling off a 140. It's pretty impressive there, with 2 soft locks.
Yeah, very well played.
Thank you.
GG, man.
So, how are you guys feeling about the future of your bracket or your group?
It's going to be extremely challenging because we have extremely good randomizer runners in our group.
Yeah, I was looking at the bracket earlier. You do have kind of a stacked group there, as far as overworld goes.
Yeah, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I got a fun lineup for my first glitch tournament. So.
Yeah, you definitely got a rough road ahead if this is your first glitch tournament. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And Chex, don't get me wrong, we wish you the best as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, some of these groups, they're going to be strong, and there's going to be some battles fought. It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, well, any final thoughts on the seeds, guys?
Not here. Thanks for commentating.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the race, guys. It was really entertaining, really fun to commentate. Really appreciate it. And I want to say thanks to Cassidy Moen for commentating with me today. Thanks for our restreamers. Thanks for our tracker. Don't forget them. Thanks for SpeedGaming for having us on here. Thanks for everybody putting together the Overworld glitch tournament. And thanks to anybody else that I left out involved in all this.
Yeah, same for me as well. It was a fun race to commentate with you. Big thanks to the tracker. It makes it a lot easier to follow the races. The organizers, speed gaming, all that.
And thanks to all the people in chat hanging out, watching the race as well. Without you guys, we got nothing.
Definitely. And with that, I guess we can wrap this up.
Yep, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Thanks, Chex and Fuzzy, for that race. That was amazing, guys. And everybody out there, have a good night.
Good night.